So pollution in pubs is down since the smoking ban, but by how much? It's a whopping 91%.
That's right, air pollution dropped by 91%, which means the air inside pubs and restaurants is now as clean as the air we breathe outside. You're watching The Right Stuff with Richard Farley, Shona Galati and the multi-talented Ray Quinn. Still to come this morning, we're going to ask if parents are wrong to block their kids' interests. Say your little girl wanted to take up boxing, but you totally objected. Would you stop her going into the ring? What about if your 16-year-old was mad on motorbikes? Would you stop him buying one? 0207 173 5555 is the number for your calls. Should parents always support their children's interests, or would you stand in their way if you didn't approve? But first, your thoughts on the smoking ban. Is it the best thing ever? Today's papers are frankly ecstatic. Hundreds of thousands of people have quit, tens of thousands of lives saved, and no one comes home from a night out smelling like an ashtray anymore. I think that's the best thing. Yeah. Britain's public buildings have been smoke-free for almost a year now, and while the ban has corresponded with the biggest drop-off in people smoking ever, there has been a 50% increase in fag sales to underage teens, apparently. Kids. Before the ban, there was a lot of talk about smokers' human rights, but these days you hardly hear a croak. Does that mean everyone's happy? Or just that die-hard smokers have grown tired of complaining and have no one listen anymore? Well, Ray, you were talking during the break there. You say it's fantastic.
Oh, I do think it's great. I mean, I'm not a smoker myself, but I understand people who do smoke and they say, like, you know, well, why can't I have a cigarette and stuff like that? But I think it's great that they can go outside and have a cigarette at their own leisure and not spoil everybody else's time having a meal or whatever. And as you said then, it's the best thing coming home of a night out after having a few bevies or whatever and not smelling of smoke and coming home and going,
do you think, I don't know, maybe age or travelling or whatever, I look back now and I just can't believe we didn't have one years ago.
Yeah, totally.
You do too?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do think that as well, yeah. But I mean, you know, it's at their own choice. If you want to smoke, then smoke at your own leisure, I think. Yeah. But I think the ban is a really good thing.
Shona, glad it's happened?
Glad it's happened, and I think it should now happen that they're banned from smoking near buildings as well.
Then it can get a bit silly then, can't it?
You know, but it's a bit hard. You are smoke-free inside, and then you come out and you get stabbed by cigarettes and...
Come on, yeah, but it is just a... you know, I think you can... It gets madness. The wedding thing the other day, everyone goes out into the garden, and I thought, you know, the smokers are going to have a cigarette, but no, they had to go and stand in a certain spot of the garden, far, far, far away to have their
that's fine. That's
I
fine
can tell.
by me.
I thought it was a little bit heavy-handed, but you think it's a good idea?
I think it's a good idea to sort of consider how people smoke now outside buildings as well.
OK.
Because, look, by 2020 in Scotland, the figures are that Scotland will be free of lung cancer. That's amazing, considering the figures before.
Worst place in Britain before. Richard, do you approve?
Absolutely. Well, I think it almost... I mean, I think you'd struggle to find a non-smoker, which three of us are, I think. You'd struggle to find a non-smoker who didn't think it was a good idea. Yeah. But I think you know, the research on smoking is just getting worse and worse. I mean, the last I heard was it adds 10 years on your life. Yeah. You know, so... You know,
takes 10 years away.
Take 10 years off your life. But another way of looking at it is if you're 30 and you smoke, think of yourself as 40. Yeah. You know, so it is a pretty horrific thing to do. So... You know, if they've cut...
What about human rights for smokers? The smoker's right to enjoy their cigarette?
It's not that bad going outside. I'm probably not saying that. I probably don't agree that shouldn't be allowed to smoke outside. You know, but
somewhere outside, I'm saying they can
smoke
the
ultimate sanction is just ban cigarettes altogether. You know, I mean, I still find it astonishing that the government should make what's it, £8 billion a year in tax off people's addiction and misery.
No, but they lose money because of the number of people in hospitals and looking after them. Yeah, they lose money on smoking.
So the books don't balance?
The books don't balance, but, you know, that money could be used for the royal family, don't you?
Yeah, propping up their crumbling houses. OK, does anybody out there not like the smoking ban? Amy?
Let's go and see what Brian's got to say on line 1.
Morning, Brian.
Hello, good morning.
Hi there, Brian. What do you think of the smoking ban? Best thing ever?
No, not at all. I think the problem is that smokers are out in the street and you can't go shopping without following a trail of mobile smokers. If they wanted to go to the pub and have a smoke, there used to be a snug where the smokers kept, and then the women and the families stayed in the lounge, and people went to the garden, except on 364 rainy days of summer. I hate going downtown in the city of London because you go to somewhere like the Old Bailey and all the solicitors smoking on the pavement.
Yeah, no, that is true. That is true. So you don't like the smokers on the street?
Absolutely not.
So you'd rather they were back in the pub smoking?
I'd rather they were behind closed doors where they're in their own private property.
OK, so don't let smokers leave home, under house arrest. OK, Brian. I like a man with a moderate point of view. Maury, what about our audience? What do they have to say?
What's your name and what would you like to say?
My name's Mark, and just first of all, I think that bloke's absolutely ridiculous because you can't be banned. You can't be banned to smoke in your own home. You've got to think of everyone else around you.
You're a smoker, yeah?
Yeah, I smoke. You choose to smoke. You don't tell people that you've got to breathe in their smoke. It's costing the NHS. It's saved the NHS loads of money. All children are healthier.
So you think the smoking ban's
it's
great?
Absolutely great. It's perfect. There's nothing better about it.
No problems for you at all?
I go outside and smoke by myself.
And do you worry, or do you consider the non-smokers having to walk past a wall of smoke when they leave public buildings and stuff like that?
Well, you're not allowed to smoke outside a building about 50 metres anyway.
Yeah.
So as long as you do it where no one else is around, you're not even allowed to smoke down the high street, some of them.
It's not persuaded you to pack it in altogether?
I'm cutting down as we speak, so yeah, I'm cutting down as much as possible. So eventually I'll quit.
Ultimately stopping, yeah?
Hopefully stop.
Good for you.
Willpower, not nicotine patches.
OK, well, good. You know, I mean, it's clearly working. When they say this is the most people ever to stop
Well, I feel healthier.
in recent years. So I think it's fantastic. Let's have another call, please, Amy.
We've got someone who thinks it's affecting the trade in pubs. It's Dave from Manchester on line 2.
Morning, Dave.
Morning.
Hi there, Dave. Now, I know it affected the trade in pubs in Ireland. I'm not so sure it's had such a big effect over here. OK, thanks very much for your point of view there, Dave. But do we have another one? He must have nipped out for a cigarette break.
We'll go to Bob on line 3.
Bob, good morning.
Hello there.
Oh, thank heavens for that. I thought about taking it back up for a moment. And the stress. What do we think about the smoking ban, sir? Is it a good idea?
It's definitely a good idea. I contracted emphysema because I worked in pubs for 30-odd years. I'm only 55, and I couldn't go out for 4.5 years. I couldn't go in the pub, no life. I couldn't go and have a game of darts.
Because of the
have
smoke?
a drink with me friends or anything.
Because of the smoke in the air?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now?
And now I can actually go out and enjoy myself, just like walk up a pub and sit and have a drink with friends or whatever. I get fed up with people saying the civil rights of the smokers and that. What about our civil rights? Because I couldn't go out anywhere because of the smoking.
What about when you look back now? You say emphysema, possibly triggered by working in pubs or being in pubs for 30-odd years plus. Do you resent the fact that we didn't have the ban earlier?
Well, obviously, because it's greatly affected my life expectancy, even though it's quite well managed at the moment. I have definitely restricted in all aspects of my life now because of the smoking. I didn't know. My parents had a pub. I was brought up in a pub. But when I was 10, I didn't know how it was going to affect me at 50.
No, it does bring it home, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think I was most shocked.
Go out again.
Yeah, good for. I mean, I'm glad that it just does make you think that your health has suffered when we maybe could have acted years earlier. And it's also quite interesting that we've had the 100% compliance because, again, leading up to the smoking ban, everyone was talking about, oh, there's going to be riots and revolutions and no one's going to stick to it. In France, they have a smoking ban. No one pays any attention to it. But we stuck by it here. I think it's great. Thank you for the calls, Bob. After the break.